to our new favorite segment. Let's cue up some mediocre life updates. Do you want to go first here, or do you want me to
No,
take
you go
this one to
first.
start?
You go
Okay.
first. You lead us off.
I'll go first on this one. So I mentioned that earlier in the podcast, I was kind of catching up, right? I was a little bit behind, and shout out to League Pass. League Pass is great for just being able to catch up and still do this because I can just kind of fast forward through, commercials, free throws, whatever. And then I was fully caught up by the fourth quarter, despite joining in probably about 45 minutes late. But the reason I was late, Greg, is as a parent, this is going to turn into a little bit of a parent corner here as well. Had my first school function as a parent. And I don't know
Okay.
if you've had any of these yet. James is about 10 months ahead of Mariana.
Yeah,
So
no,
maybe
we
you
didn't
have.
go.
Okay, yeah. So there was a fundraiser tonight at like a just local burger spot here in Austin, where it's like 25% of proceeds go to the school or whatever. And so we were like, all right, cool. And like our friends Caroline and Ben go to the school as well. Their youngest son is in our daughter's class. We're like, cool, we'll go with you guys. Like, yeah, let's, it's right around, like it's a mile away from the school. And it's funny, Greg, when you're getting ready to become a parent, like I always think back to like Knocked Up. Oh, I didn't read the baby books. How did the Egyptians ever have a baby without the baby books?
Yeah.
And, we all try to prepare in what we can. And like, whether that's books, that's through internet articles, whatever it might be, 100%. And this has like been something I'm just realizing in the last month and a half as my daughter started daycare, completely did not prepare myself mentally for the aspect of parenthood that is dealing with like schools and other parents and administrators and like teachers that like eventually like I think long term I had thought about like, oh, this will be cool, like softball or basketball or volleyball and like doing
Right.
like swimming lessons, like that stuff I had thought of. The parenting aspect of it and like becoming social, and again I'm this is something that I've been remote in my full-time job now for 5 years, and I've completely lost a lot of the social skills that I used to have day to day being like in an office. And going into this environment, I gotta say I was a little overwhelmed. It was a little much for me. Kids running everywhere.
Did you revert back to like who you were when you were in school? Like like high school Will, who pretended to be a janitor for 6 months and cleaned, literally walked into. Can you tell the people what you used to do? Because I don't know if everyone's heard this story.
The fake janitor story. So this was in high school, I think like 10th grade or so. At one point, just was talking to a friend, shout out to my guy Joe, and we were just like hanging out, like as I was like walking around, like during study hall or something. And he and I were just chatting. I was like, "Oh yeah, what class are you in?" He's like, "I'm in English class." It's like just like I don't even know why he said it, and then I don't know why I did it. He's like, "Yeah, why don't you just come in?" And I was like, "Sure." And so I literally just came into this classroom, sat down, just hung out for like 5 minutes, and then the teacher, shout out to my girl Figgy, just looks around, and she just goes, "Wait a minute, who are you?" And I just ran out of the classroom. That's it. That was the end of it. And then she had questions, and then from there, the students kind of made up a story of like, "Oh yeah, you don't know that's the janitor." Like someone came up with this, and then she was like, "I haven't seen that guy before," and they really got her believing that I was the janitor. And for some reason, the janitor sat down in class for several minutes and then ran away and didn't say anything. Like, come on, man, you got to use a little bit more common sense. And so they told me this, and so then every day for like maybe a month or two, I would literally on my lunch break, like on the way back before I went to my classroom, I'd stop into her classroom, I'd pick up her trash, say, "Hey, how you doing?" And then I'd go dump it out into the bigger trash in the hallway, come back and say, "Hey, hope you have a really nice day." And I would do this, 2-3 times a week for like a month, 2 months. And then eventually, even at one point, it was Valentine's Day. I sent her a carnation, like whatever we sent, like it was flowers or candy, whatever. Sent it from the janitor. She yelled at a random student for thinking that they were impersonating me and that they were being disrespectful to my name. I think eventually she caught on to it. I think she caught me waiting for the bus to go play baseball or something. But even then, I think at one point someone was like, "Oh, he's also an assistant baseball coach," because I've always looked older. And so ongoing running gag, and that was just let's go with the flow, let's hop in, I'll go do something weird and wild. Like this version of Will now 36 years old, dude, I was like, I just want to go in the corner and observe. I don't want to talk to anybody, but like this
turned
parents
into
were like,
me.
Yeah, and I think you're the exact opposite because, like, even like before some of our basketball games, you'll be like, "Oh, just talking to people, like you're from here, whatever." And I'm like, I don't talk to people I don't know. Like, I'm literally stranger danger in my life these days. It's like a
Yeah.
complete U-turn of who I used to be, and so this new element, I was just not ready for. Of like parents were like, "Oh my god, are you Mariana's dad? Are you this? Are you that?" And then like they're telling me about all their kids, and like I got to do the kind of like, oh, that's him. He's such a cutie. I see him when I come in each day, and like yada yada. And like, I don't know. I just mediocre life update for me was not prepared for the social aspect
Yeah.
of parenting and school events. And so had my first introduction today, and that's why I was late to the game. And yeah, that's another. It's now I'm gonna be more prepared next time. But it is something you gotta actually mentally prep for that I had just not accounted for until
You
now.
got to start pushing and nudging Mariana towards the parents that you want to be friends with, right?
Oh,
Like you
for sure.
don't go to those creepy people over there. Like we don't want to hang out with them, please.
And so you
All right,
haven't done any of these school events yet, right?
no, we haven't. And like every time I pick up James from daycare, I see more or less the same people. And I'm friendly, I give them the hello or whatnot, but I don't want to be friends with any of them. Like,
Right. You don't know
yeah,
their names though, right?
no. That's
Yeah, that's the
crazy.
thing. I've had a few people introduce their names. I don't remember them, and I just like same. I know the faces. I'm like, that's a parent from the daycare, but names. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough. It's a whole new world, man. It's yeah, gotta get it prepared for it. What do you got for mediocre life update?
Okay, first I just want to address in the chat. Rob says, Will, Greg should join next media verse coach. Will, you've seen me when I was athletic and you've seen me now. I don't think I would make much of a difference now in this
Here's
media
the thing.
versus coaches game.
We'll get into this more with Kari, but from what I
Yeah.
saw, my shooting and your dribbling could be used out there. That's all I'll
Yes.
say.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. We'll talk about it more with Kari when he's on. I agree. Okay. My mediocre life update. So Friday, I'm picking up James from daycare. On the way back, we're at the corner of William Cannon and South Congress. I'm in the middle lane waiting at the red light, and I'm on the phone with Danielle. And then all of a sudden, I just catch something out of my peripheral, and then I hear the crunch, smacks into my right fender, right in front of my passenger side door, getting this
Oh,
big car accident. My car like spins out. He pulls up onto the median. I follow him there. I'm beeping at him. You know how when you get in a car accident, you kind of just like black out. But Danielle was on the
yeah.
phone with me, so she kind of like relived it for me. But apparently, I was like honking on the horn, like "What the fuck, buddy?" So I go onto the median, and James is in the back seat crying. I'm like, "Fuck!" Like my
Oh, that's what I was
kids.
gonna ask you. That's like I have this panic thought every time I have my iron in the car. So
Yeah. So first car accident with James, but the dude gets out of his car and he's already on the phone and he's ostensibly talking to his insurance. Oh yeah, I just got in a car accident. I'm here. He's like he's like, hey man, you good? He's like, is your baby okay? And I'm like, yeah, dude. Like I decided to be calm about it. I was like, are you okay, man? Like I know he was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. My brakes jammed and I apologize. Like I feel really bad about this. Like, are you sure your baby's okay? And I went in the back. He was fine. He was just startled. He was running
yeah.
around like later that night. And I take a picture of the guy's insurance. We take pictures and do all that. He's like, I on the phone with his insurance, and he's like, hey, I think I need a tow truck here. Like, I'm not going to be able to drive this. Like the brakes jammed, and so we exchanged insurance information. And he's on the phone with his insurance, and he's like, yeah, my insurance will reach out to your insurance. We'll get it all figured out. So that's Friday. Sunday comes around, not a peep from insurance. And I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, did he pretend to be on the phone this whole time with a fake insurance? And like, even though he showed me his insurance, I have a picture of his insurance with Allstate. And I'm just
Mhm.
gonna put this motherfucker on blast right now. Jonathan Self, who works at SHI, because I LinkedIn your ass, and I emailed SHI, not gonna lie, because he is not taking liability for this. He's not admitting fault for it. So now I have to file through my insurance and pay my motherfucking $1,000 deductible. So I emailed SHI and I was like, listen, man, you got a shit human being working for you. He's making me
So
pay money.
hold up. So you have his okay. I haven't been in a car accident in a little bit. So you have his insurance information,
Mm-hmm.
but he has to also report it, right?
He has to
That's
report it. but I reached out to his insurance and I was like, hey, like maybe there's an insurance person who's listening right now and might be able to help me out. But I
Yeah.
reached out to his insurance. I'm like, listen, I have pictures, I have text messages from the dude because we also exchanged numbers. And he like asked
Okay.
me if my baby was okay. And I was like, yeah, man, like
Yeah.
thanks for asking. I was like, are you okay? And I was like, I can send you screenshots, I can send you whatever. I have his insurance. And they've been trying to get in contact with him. It's what, Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? Yeah. So they've been
Yeah.
trying to get
Today's
in
Wednesday.
contact with him. And they were like, he's not answering his phone. He's not responding to emails. We're just going to be honest with you. This guy's not going to answer. Like, you should just go through your own insurance. And I was like, yeah, but you also don't want to like pay. And they're like, yeah, but
Right.
they're like, if he's not responding to us and not responding to you right now, like you don't have evidence that this actually happened and that it was that you don't have a police report.
I
You
was
don't
gonna
have
say that was gonna be which you don't necessarily want to do that extra work, but like filing a police report with his name and that information,
right.
like that is probably the next step if this guy's not gonna answer. Like it's shitty, but he's
Yeah.
doing it to himself. Like he's putting you in that position that
Yeah.
you have to do it. Like it sucks because the whole point of like that conversation afterwards was like, we don't need to do this, right? We
Right.
don't need to take it this route, and especially when it seems amicable with like, hey, checking on everybody, like, yo, my brakes jammed, whatever that means. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like here's my information, and like, it's really weird that I don't know. It feels like he must have panicked after he gave you his information because it sounds like his information was legit,
I know. I looked him up on
up until
LinkedIn,
that
dude. Look
point.
him up right
Yeah.
now. Anybody who's listening, look this motherfucker up right now. Jonathan Self works at
Yeah. I mean,
SHI.
I think you should file a police report against him. I think you should.
We'll see. We'll see. I kind
I
of
mean, I
want to
think
just
that it's a shitty way to go, but I think that's your only move, unfortunately. Like I don't like because otherwise you're just caught with all the shit, which sucks because you're just getting screwed over.
yeah.
Like I think it's the only way to protect yourself in this situation.
What
That's
if
shitty.
I told you I also called him and left him a voicemail telling him to be a good person and do the right thing. And I told him that karma's a bitch, and if he doesn't do the right thing, like it's gonna come back.
I love the idea of this going to court and then him playing that voicemail as some form of like evidence. Like this guy's a psycho. This is why I didn't. This is why I was scared
He
my
told
whole
he
life.
told me he told me he wasn't trying to make any threats or anything, but it certainly sounded like a threat.
What would you do if this maniac called you? I've got evidence too.
Oh,
Oh
Jesus Christ.
God,
So
that
now, I
sucks,
mean, the
man.
car got towed today because it wasn't drivable. So,
Oh,
so when I was driving home, I like had to
brutal,
stop
brother.
multiple times. Yeah. So it got towed to the collision place today, the auto body shop to fixing it. Gonna see if I can get a rental tomorrow. But yeah, that's my mediocre life update. I guess it's a bad life update, huh? Gonna be
Yeah,
$1,000 down. That's my deductible.
that sucks. Yeah. Okay.